Penrose, or the neighborhood of choice, is a North St. Louis neighborhood. The neighborhood is a diverse community with a good balance of homeowners, renters, and businesses. Joining me now is Alderman Antonio French. Thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure.
Penrose, that's an exciting neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I hear. What makes it so exciting?
You know, Penrose is a historic neighborhood in North St. Louis. These homes are among the most beautiful we have in the city. We are really blessed with great housing stock. A lot of neighbors who have, are now second and third generation who live in this community. As you mentioned, home to a lot of businesses. Middle class population still exists in the Penrose neighborhood. And so, we're excited about the neighborhood. We are trying to attract more folks to this community and let people know about this real jewel that exists in our city.
What are the boundaries for Penrose?
So Penrose is actually split between the 21st Ward, my ward, and the 1st Ward, represented by Alderwoman Sharon Tyus. Penrose goes from about Natural Bridge on one end, 70 on the other end, Newstead on one end, and goes past Kings Highway.
Well, give us a little bit of history about Penrose. You mentioned that you have historic homes there, so give us a little history.
Yeah, so Penrose, much like its neighboring O'Fallon neighborhood, really was established about a little over 110 years ago. Most of these homes have now reached the century mark.
Like this one? Or this
yeah,
one?
And so a lot of these beautiful homes have characteristics of the artisans that built these from Europe. And when they came over, they brought their talents of how to build these brick houses in ways that really are hard to replicate today. And so you see features unique to some of these historic homes that we have throughout St. Louis, but really still exist in great numbers in Penrose and O'Fallon neighborhood. And so these are really where the middle class folks, some of the largest houses were occupied by very wealthy people of the day. But now they are occupied by family members, many of whom have lived there for generations. And
that doesn't look like a historic home.
Oh, the one there. So that is, we've had some new construction as well over the last few years. That is one of the newer construction homes. As you can see, though, it was still we tried to build it in a way that matches at least some of the characteristics of the historic homes around it. But yeah, so we do have some new construction in those neighborhoods as well.
So you must be happy that not only do you have this historic, amazing feature to the neighborhood, there's also room for modern in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and so really what you see throughout the city happening is that people are building houses in these historic neighborhoods, and many of them, again, are matching the characteristics of the historic homes next to them. And it's good because it keeps people in the community. We try to increase the population and the density in these neighborhoods. And so if over the last 50 years a house has been knocked down, that is an opportunity for us to build new housing in its place. And so the Penrose neighborhood, though, has not seen the level of vacancy that many other neighborhoods have seen in North St. Louis. And so it is a neighborhood that with a little bit more investment, a little bit more attention from the city, some more incentives for development to happen over there, we can really make that one of the premier neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis.
So it's really interesting that even though, no matter what your taste is, if you want to live in a beautiful historic home, you can do that, or you've got some modern, freshly built, brand new homes if that's your thing. Now, being the alderman over there, what does it mean to have that kind of diversity in the neighborhood?
Well, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to engage with neighbors to help make the neighborhood even stronger. It means that you're not completely alone when you're trying to turn a neighborhood around. You already have folks who are invested in that community. It also means that we don't have to start from scratch as a city. There are some neighborhoods that the vacancy is so far along that really we're talking about building new neighborhoods, new housing. Penrose is not that. Penrose is a neighborhood that still maintains a lot of its character from almost a century ago. And so that's something that I think the city really needs to hold on to. It is our heritage as a city. And like I said, with some more attention, some more investment, some incentives to get larger development over there, we can really make these neighborhoods in North St. Louis some of the premier neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis.
On that note, we have to take a break, but when we come back, let's talk some more about this magnificent neighborhood. And we'll be right back right after this. Stay with us.